Because I have a couple recent videos on both Skagway and Dawson City, I thought a video about the Chilkoot Pass and the journey that miners would have taken to get from Skagway, Alaska to Dawson City, Yukon would be a great idea. This way you, the viewer, will not only see some of the journey, as I also happen to come across quite a few old photographs that were taken on location back then. I'll be leaving links of both the Dawson City and Skagway videos below and also at the end of this video. And if there are any old pictures left over from the story, I'll put them into a slideshow at the end. In 1897, a fever gripped the North. The Klondike Gold Rush had begun, and thousands of hopeful stampeders poured into Alaska's panhandle, chasing rumors of fortune hidden in the Yukon. Ships crowded the harbors of Skagway and Dyea, boomtowns that appeared almost overnight. But the journey to gold was no easy path. From these rough ports, stampeders faced a critical choice: the brutal Chilkoot Pass from Dyea, or the longer, less steep White Pass Trail from Skagway. Dyea had no real harbor, ships unloaded onto tidal flats. Still, it became the gateway to the infamous Chilkoot Trail. The town buzzed with saloons, boarding houses, and outfitters, all eager to claim a share of the stampeders' hard-earned money. From Dyea, the 33-mile trail snaked through thick forest, narrow canyons, and rough camps. Finnegan's Point, Canyon City, Pleasant Camp, and finally, Sheep Camp. Sheep Camp was a stop before the mountains. It was a chaotic mix of tents, merchants, packers, and weary men and women bracing for the climb of their lives. It served as the last major campsite before the ascent of the pass, the infamous Golden Stairs. These golden stairs were a mile-long, nearly vertical climb carved into ice and snow. Here, stampeders faced the most punishing climb of the entire journey. Single file, they trudged up a mile-long staircase carved into snow and ice, carrying 50 to 75 pounds at a time, making dozens of trips to meet the government-mandated requirement of 1 ton of supplies. This 2,000 pounds of goods would be hauled up in multiple trips. For miners who had extra cash, they could hire a packer or two at this camp to help haul their supplies to the summit. However, most men spent days or even weeks ferrying loads between Sheep Camp and the summit by themselves. At the summit, the U.S.-Canada border lay waiting. Many thought the worst was behind them, but the Yukon's challenges were only the beginning. Descending from the pass, stampeders arrived at Lake Bennett and nearby Lindeman Lake, where the river journey to Dawson City would begin. Here, winter froze progress, and a temporary city of tents and makeshift buildings sprawled along the shore. Hotels, saloons, general stores, blacksmith shops, and boatyards lined the lake. Every swing of an axe echoed ambition as thousands built boats to navigate the Yukon River. Among the entrepreneurs was Friedrich Trump, a German immigrant and grandfather of U.S. President Donald Trump. In 1898, he opened the Arctic Restaurant and Hotel at Bennett, offering food, beds, gambling, and entertainment to exhausted stampeders. When the boom faded, he moved on, proving not all fortune came from the gold itself. The Chilkoot's hardships spurred ingenuity. Enterprising companies built aerial tramways to haul freight over the summit for a steep fee. Horses, steam engines, and gravity-powered pulleys carried tons of supplies, turning back-breaking labor into profit. Meanwhile, Skagway's White Pass Trail rose in importance. By 1900, the White Pass and Yukon Route Railroad connected Skagway to Whitehorse, rendering the old trails nearly obsolete, but by then, the rush had already peaked. The Chilkoot wasn't just a trail, it was a proving ground. For those who pressed on, it was a journey of sweat, hunger, and dreams, step by step, toward the elusive promise of gold. Well, it looks like there are some photographs left that I can show, so I'll just put them into a slideshow for you here. I'm not really sure how many there are, but I hope you enjoy. Today, the Chilkoot Trail is quiet. Hikers retrace the steps of stampeders who once shouldered impossible loads in search of a better life. The ghost towns of Dyea and Bennett have all but vanished, but the story of the pass endures. A 33-mile gateway to the north, a frozen staircase of grit, ambition, and hope. Well, folks, that about wraps up this week's story of both the Chilkoot and the White Pass trails. I hope you enjoyed this segment about this part of the Klondike Gold Rush, and be sure to watch my Dawson City video if you haven't already. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.